Welcome to the Kindness Podcast Live. I'm Nicole Phillips. I'm so glad that you would join me today to talk to an illustrator. So what does an illustrator have to do with kindness? That's what we're going to find out about. But I want to read you. This is from her page. You know, sometimes I will write up a bio for someone, or I'll write up, special things about them. But Holly Hatam just has the best bio. So I want to just read to you what she says about herself on her page. Holly Hatam's a girl that sometimes wears something pink and sparkly and sometimes dons capes and fights dragons. Some days she's moody, but other days she shakes her booty. Some days her heart makes wild adventures, but other days she just wants to be a couch potato. She is a picture book maker, greeting card designer, and textile engineer. She is also the #1 New York Times Bestselling illustrator of Dear Girl. Her other books include What Matters, Tree Song, Maxine the Maker, Jack, not Jackie, and The Acadia Files. And Holly lives in Ontario. And she says she lives with her weird husband and even weirder son, but that's okay because weird is a side effect of awesome. Isn't that awesome? We need to bring Holly in here right now. Hi, Holly.
Hi.
Oh, that is super cool. And my kindness team too, we were talking about it and they said, Sarah from my team said, did you see on Holly's website where it says she lives with her weird husband, even with her son? And I said, and that's a side effect of awesome, right?
We're not normal. We say we don't like being normal in this house.
What does that mean to not be normal for you? Do you have specific examples for us?
It's just to embrace your little quirks. Like all three of us have our little quirks. We call each other the nerd gang. Like I'm a 41-year-old obsessed with Harry Potter and Lego. I have Lego that I don't let my 7-year-old to touch. Like it's coveted. It's on my shelf. He's not allowed to touch it.
Don't play with those. Those are mommy's toys.
Those are mommy's toys. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So I just fell in love with your illustrations. And
thank you.
I know that you just told me like you're working on 7 books and an animated television series. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. I'm lucky. I'm so lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like I think it's a lot of people's dream to be able to break into the industry that you're in. Were you a child that doodled a lot, or how did you?
A lot.
Yeah.
My parents said I was always drawing since they can remember. So I always had a pencil in my hand from what I can remember as well.
And then that eventually turned into something that wasn't just a little girl with a pencil, but a woman who had stepped into her calling. And when did you know that that was your calling?
When I was little, I was a complete bookworm. So I was always reading books, and I knew from a young age that I wanted to do something with illustrating and writing. And even as a 12 and 13-year-old, every Saturday I would wake up and sit and watch the Disney movies, The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast, and just dream about working with Disney. And that has come true as an adult. So it's just amazing to see all of the little girl dreams coming true.
Okay, so that I didn't know about. What's your affiliation with Disney? What did you work on?
They had asked me to just do some development work for one of the shows that they were producing.
Okay.
So that was fun.
Really fun, I bet. And now you're working on a different television show, a concept for that. What is the concept behind that?
It's about a little bear called Apricot, and she's very shy and introverted, and the show is just about the little shy, quiet kids and how they can be the heroes, and you don't always have to be loud and the center of attention to be special.
Did you come up with that concept?
I came up with the characters, and a producer happened to see the character. I was so inspired by it that they hired a writer to work with me on the concept of the show.
Is there anything about those characters that reflect you?
Mm-hmm. I was very, very shy. as a kid, so shy that I would hide in the closet from people that would come over to our house. And my son is even, he's more shy than I was as a kid. Like he has so much anxiety, or he used to. He's gotten better now. So the characters are based a lot on myself and my son.
Oh, that's beautiful. What advice do you have for people who might be like me? Like I'm loud. I'm like, hey, how are you? What's going on? Like I can frighten people, I think, like what advice do you have for me?
You're not frightening. You actually help the introverts. Like I feel, or me anyway, I relax a lot more. It takes the pressure, and I'm not like that anymore. Like I hate public speaking, but I'm not shy in other settings and meeting new people. So I've grown out of that, and I see my son growing out of it too. And he actually can gravitate towards the louder kids just because it's something that he's not. So nobody changed. Everyone's fine.
Okay, good. That's so what isn't there kindness just in that? Like you're fine. Just go
You're
be.
fine. Yeah.
I want to show people some of your work, Holly, because it's just it's extraordinary.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
delightful, and there's something that will make you smile about every single thing you put together. So I'm sharing the screen here. Look at me doing technology. I don't usually do technology, Holly. So like sharing screens. Okay. Tell me about this sweet, delightful picture. What are we looking at here?
This was for my book called Fairies Are Real. I wrote a set of 4 board books, each about a different mythical creature, and this book was about fairies. So this was about how they have powers to control the weather, I believe, the weather
Oh,
or nature.
okay. Is
This
this
is from the
all?
same book.
Okay. I love this. There's little things that like this little fairy that's up in the moon. There are things that you look at and don't notice the first time, sort of, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, yeah, I see that. Oh, I was captivated by unicorns when I was a kid. Tell us about this one?
I still am. I
Good.
have unicorn stuff all over my office, and I just came up with this concept for this book as an excuse to draw unicorns. And this spread is about how unicorn's favorite food group is candy, I believe,
Uh-huh.
or anything sweet.
I think I might be a unicorn. That's kind of interesting. Okay. Yeah. And the music. That's sweet. Delightful. And we're on to dragons.
That's the third one, or this was the second book in the series. How they have to polish and shine their scales.
Oh, neat.
And they like to roast their food with their fire, marshmallows, of course.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is that cute? I want to go down here. There was one that I had looked at before that I thought, um, this is one of those that you can look at again and again and again and again. But tell me about what you were thinking in this one.
It's just, for some reason, the phrase elephant hunt popped in my head, and I thought, how funny would it be to have these gigantic elephants trying to camouflage themselves in a silly way? And this is just what I came up with.
Yeah. So all of this started, Holly, before you were a mom, right? I mean, these are all things that delighted you before motherhood. Is that correct?
Drawing and illustrating, yes, but I actually didn't start illustrating until my son was born. Before
Oh,
that, I was a graphic designer, and I ran my own company called Teardrop, where I designed wedding invitations, and I hated both jobs. And then
oh,
I finally leapt in when I was pregnant. I said, if I don't do it now, if I don't follow my dream now, I'm never going to do it. So I call my son my little lucky charm because he made my whole life changed after he was born.
So how does one break into what it is you're doing? Because it seems like you need a lucky charm.
No, you just need to love it enough. Like I just truly loved it so much that I never gave up no matter what, and I never took no as the final answer. Like I kept going and going and going.
Yeah. We have a comment from a woman named Barbara who says, "Love your illustrations, especially
Oh,
in Paris books." Tell us about that.
oh. The Dear series. The first book was Dear Girl, and then after was Dear Boy, and those two made it on the New York Times. And it's just a little love letter to girls and boys to be who they are and love themselves and be uniquely them.
Yeah. Okay, so now we get into the kindness part of it, right? Like, what is it you're trying to say to people through your illustrations?
I I want people to know that they're not alone. Like I'm very open with my illustrations. They're really raw. They come from my heart, and it's usually something that I'm dealing with or emotion I'm trying to evoke. I'm big advocate for mental health, and I'm not shy about telling people that I've dealt with anxiety. And those are the posts that I try. I just want someone to be seen, inspire someone, just put a smile on your face if you're having a bad day. So I'm just trying to spread love and magic with my art in any way that I can.
Mm-hmm. Couple of other comments have come in. One is from Lisa Hunter, who says, "My grandbabies would be enthralled by these, love them." So
Oh,
yes, Lisa, you're going to have to get all the deer books and check it out. And then Barbara says, "Dear teacher and dear baby are the best."
oh, thank you. That's so
Yeah,
sweet. Thank you.
thank you, Barbara. That's amazing. So as a writer and a speaker, Holly, sometimes I feel like what I write and what I speak are things that I need to hear. It's like I need to preach to myself, or I need to write it down to figure out how I feel about a particular situation or something that I'm going through. And it's almost like, yeah, if other people can be helped along the way, awesome. But originally it comes from a place probably of pain or something within me. And you kind of alluded to that a little bit. Is that how you process? Is that the same thing for someone who illustrates?
For me, it is. It's like my therapy. If I'm ever feeling anything, I just draw. I draw it out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Are there any in particular that you can show us? I'm going to go pop back on here again. Whoops. I need.
I feel so awful because my Instagram account was always the place that I shared my art to inspire and spread kindness, and I had to deactivate it about a month ago just for some not very nice things that were happening. So that's usually where all the kindness art would have been. My website's actually, it needs to be updated so badly. It's a lot of the old work on here.
But beautiful and amazing, and still, bringing like this one. I'm going to show you this one. Imaginary friend, right? And he's got this little, it looked like
Dragon.
a little dragon. Yeah, I was going to say dinosaur. That was the wrong word. A little dragon sitting next to the boy, and to imagine that we're not alone in things.
That's based on my son. He talks to his stuffed animals like they're real.
Yeah. And maybe they are to him. So, talk about free. This one's called free.
This is how I feel when I'm in nature. I'm a complete tree hugger. You'll find me in the forest randomly hugging trees and putting my cheek up to the bark. So this is how I feel when I'm outside. I just feel so free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one of the things that I'm trying to figure out how to, there we go. There, we're back. One of the things that I had read about you and and it was probably on the Instagram account, because when I went back to find it again, I couldn't find it. But one of the things that I had read was something you had said about, like, you've done the big stuff. You've worked with Disney. You've had the New York Times #1 bestseller. Like, and so your mindset changed along the way, if I'm understanding what you said correctly, to, instead of accomplishing the next thing, you wanted to do something else. What is that?
I am a dreamer and a big goal getter. Like every year, my goal list it's really audacious, and I make them as big as I possibly can. And it's in my DNA. So this year was about healing, and my #1 goal was to just spread kindness every day. So I've made most of my list has completely changed. There's no like huge goals to achieve. It's just about, now I'm at the point in my career where I can start paying it forward. So trying to help others in any way that I can.
Yeah. How does that change for you in 2021? How have you felt yourself already change by making that sort of habit of kindness?
Happier. Like you don't need to have these big goals to be happy. Like I just have little tiny kind things that I do throughout the day, and it makes me probably happier than having that New York Times bestseller. Just to know that I'm making someone else happy.
Like what sort of things? What is in your practice?
I love, like, I'll go to the library and I'll just hide little prints of my artwork in books. Or even I'll do that in the bookstore, or I'll find free libraries around my neighborhood and I'll shove some signed books in there, that kind of stuff.
Oh my goodness. I can't even imagine being the person who opens it up and says, like, what?
Oh,
That is too cool. Hey, Barbara's joining the conversation again. Barbara, I really appreciate you. She says to
oh,
you,
oh,
your humility is inspiring, Holly. Thank you for your example of kindness as a beacon of healing and hope.
oh,
And
thank you. That's so sweet. Oh,
Deborah says, I'm going to look for these books. Love finding new authors. And, I feel like for somebody who says, I wonder how illustration and kindness come together, to me, you're the epitome of that. You really are.
that's so sweet. Thank you. See, all it takes is one comment to make someone's day. Kindness. It's so sweet.
Yeah. And you know what? And people do that for me all the time. And there was a time in my life when I didn't notice. And so, sometimes noticing the kindness that lives in other people, but noticing the way that they're giving kindness to me, it's special too. It's kind of changed for me when I became more on high alert. Do you feel more on high alert since you've been?
Yeah, I'm very aware of how I'm coming off to other people, and especially now wearing a mask. It's like you try to smize with your eyes.
Yeah. Smize. I never heard that. I like that.
That's not me. That was a model. Oh my gosh, I forget her name. Says that. I'm so sorry.
Well, to the lady who came up with smize, thank you. We like that. We like that a lot. Are there any other kindness stories you want to share with us before we let you go?
I think just seeing my son being kind to others and to animals. And like this morning, I heard him talking to his hamster, like just sitting beside. He said, "Mommy, I'm going to go sit with Mochi." That's his hamster's name. So she won't be lonely. And I was just sneaking behind his door, listening to him talk. Like, "Oh, Mochi, you're so sweet. You're so cute. I love you so much." It's just to hear him speak that way to a little animal, just it breaks my heart in a good way.
Yeah, right. That we know that they've got something deep, deep inside of them that is so loving.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate that. Well, people can find you. I put it in the chat, but it's hollyhatam.com. And Pinterest. Do you want people to go to Pinterest, or where do you want people?
Pinterest, yeah, for now, Instagram's deactivated, but if you can find me on Pinterest, that's where I've been spending a lot of my time.
Okay. All right. And I know you've got a gazillion projects coming up. So is there one place in particular that we should look for you next?
If you go to Amazon, you will see all of the latest books that are out.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Thank you, Holly, so much for
Thank you
joining
so
us today.
much.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so much.
spreading. Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for spreading your kindness through your beautiful, beautiful illustrations and
Thank you.
adding more joy to the world. I just love it.
Oh, thank you so much.
And thank you for joining me today with Holly on the Kindness Podcast Live. Thank you for commenting. It's so fun to hear from you all, and I hope that today is a great day for you. Bye-bye.